guys, it's Jazz. This is Giving Up the Ghost podcast. Welcome back. So I am recording this ahead of time as I'm not going to be around next week, but I want to make sure we get you the episode that you need to hear. And today's episode is Spirits with Spirits from our July 30th get together at the King's Head Pub downtown at 120 King Street with my fantastically creepy, cool partners in crime, Ashley and Kelly with the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. We co-hosted Spirits with Spirits, and that was the night we had Matthew Kumis, which was last week's episode. So today's episode is actually the open mic portion, which is always a favorite for everybody. I mean, yeah, everybody's sharing the stories, kumbaya, sharing the ghost love, everybody's got a ghost story, quite frankly, or a paranormal story. I mean, cryptids, aliens, you name it, we'll take it. So thank you to all the cool people, again, using the cool factor here, all the fantastic people that came out and shared their stories with us. We stand in front of everybody, 70 plus last time on stage. It's not easy. I'm outgoing, but I'm not outgoing. But I sure love a good ghost story. I love talking to people. I love sharing the information and hearing the stories. So we get it. Anybody who comes to that mic and has to stare it out the crowd, that takes a lot. So bravo on you guys. And we appreciate getting the liquid courage up to come and tell your story. And just, there's no judgment. We're all cool people. We all get it. It's a judgment-free environment. So tonight's portion is, I think there's 8 or 9 stories of various disembodied arms, aliens crawling on walls, ghost dogs that's with one fellow continuously his whole life. Just a real nice little freaky, maybe terrifying collection. So in saying that, this is tonight's episode. Again, special thank you to the Dead Horse Cider. They provided some swag, and we, thank you so much from the bottom of our black and dead little hearts for donating that. And they will also be donating another little prize pack for our next Spirits with Spirits, which is coming up in 2 weeks' time. And that'll be August 27th at the King's Head Pub. So the guest yet has not been determined. Stay tuned. Check the socials. Watch for that one. Again, Spirits with Spirits, August 27th. And one more thing to add. Oh, yes. Giving Up the Ghost podcast was cordially invited to be the guest host or special guest for S'mores and Ghost Stories at the Fort Lorraine Museum in Portage la Prairie. Thank you to Cindy who invited us out. She actually caught wind of our Spirits with Spirits, and we inspired her to do their end of the year kickoff. And this S'mores and Ghost Stories will be like old school around a campfire. Ooh, very creepy cool. And there's that cool again, but it is totally cool. If you have never been to Fort Lorraine, and unfortunately on a couple occasions, our schedule just didn't really match up with the Winnipeg Paranormal Group when they went out. That place is super duper haunted. So creepy haunted, active, super active. I do know that the Winnipeg Paranormal Group, they will have a public investigation in September or October planned for that. But if you want a little preview, come on down to Portage la Prairie and check out the S'mores and Ghost Stories. We're going to cruise around and check out all of the little houses, the houses they have, the heritage houses there. A lot of energy, apparently, a lot of ghost activity. So we're going to do a little ghost investigation / tour before the campfire stories. And they're even going to have a tarot card psychic on site. So nice touch, Cindy. Bravo. I love that. So again, that's August 30th. Come on out, check it out with us. And otherwise, if you have any ghost stories and want to reach out to us, just say hi, whatever it is. We're totally open on all our socials, mostly Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Certainly always email us at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. And as always, remember to live every day like it is your last. but never give up the ghost. Ciao for now.
All right, everybody, we're going to get started right away. Grab your drinks, grab your seats, and we're going to start calling on these wonderful volunteers. Grab your liquid courage. We encourage liquid courage. Oh my God. I think so. Yeah, I think so. That was a good idea, huh? It was. All right, so first person we're going to call up, I believe the handwriting says Lozo. Lozo? Come on up. Come on up. You're our next contestant. Come on up. Grab the microphone. Or sit down with the mic, whatever you're more comfortable with. Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with, for sure.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me in the back there? Seated, comfy. I'm going to tell you a story. Alright, so when I was 13, my friends thought it'd be fun playing with the Ouija board. And given that my friend's birthday was near Halloween, it was very fitting, and she very much fit the aesthetic of like, let's do this. Yeah, sure. So she lived down the street from my house, and we live in the inner city, like near Sargent. And I don't know, she had like family there, like her friends there, and they're all like 13, 14, 15, so they're obviously just doing things to elevate the experience and turning on the lights and stuff like that. Kind of getting annoyed, but playing with this Ouija board, I honestly don't remember what was said through the board, but what I do remember is the walk back home after that. So my dad was a very paranoid man. He did not want the house to be left alone, so somebody always had to be home. My brother called me and he said, hey, I'm heading out now, you have to come home now. And so it was less than a 5-minute walk away from our house. So I asked my friends, because we're 13-year-old girls in the inner city, so obviously I didn't want to walk by myself at like 9 o'clock at night. And one person had a fork on them, one person had like a butter knife, I don't know. And this is protection, I don't know what else you're allowed to do at 13. So we were at the corner of Sargent and Maryland, so near where it is now a Freshco. And I had to run across the street to catch the light. And what I specifically remember doing is, you could see the corner from my mom's house, because she's not far from there. And I like waved back to my friends, there were 3 of them. And they didn't wave back to me, and I thought that was kind of rude. I'm like, ugh, jerks. That's fine, I'll talk to them on Monday. But I remember going behind the house, and then immediately feeling like somebody, like, I didn't hear it, but for some odd reason, I thought somebody was gonna come through the gate that I had just closed, and I turned around and there was nothing there, and I thought that was strange. And so I go in through the door that is connected to the kitchen, so I go through there, and I walk through the whole kitchen, and my lights just completely come off. And again, I'm 13, I'm alone in this house, I don't wanna be there by myself, so I start like flicking it on and off, and I'm in the dark, so I just run around and turn on all the lights in the house. And so the first thing I knew it wasn't a fuse that went out, because the kitchen is connected to the bathroom, and the bathroom light turned on. And so I called one of my friends, like, hey, like, this thing's going on in my kitchen. We were playing with the Ouija board, I'm scared, stay on the line with me. And he's like, just try and turn it on. So I'm flicking it on and off, and I look at this stupid switch, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna flick it one more time, and if you don't turn on, I'm gonna just head into the living room, and I'm not gonna deal with this. Doesn't turn on, I'm like, okay, screw this. As soon as I start walking away, it flickers back on. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not alone, I don't like this. So my dad came home maybe an hour after that. I was on the phone with my friend the entire time. And I talked to my friends about this whole experience like the Monday afterwards. And so there were details that they had told me that I kind of blocked out because I heard one detail, and I'm like, oh, okay, that had to be it. And so, what did they tell me? They said that they saw somebody run across the street after me, and they were wearing a gray jacket. So I immediately just thought, oh, well, maybe they saw my dad running across the street because that's exactly what he was wearing, and he came home like maybe an hour later. But it didn't make sense, and they had told me this before I even told them what had happened, and I put everything together like years after. So what they had said was, when they were standing on the corner, there was a guy that was probably 17, younger guy, and did not have the same complexion as my dad, and he had a gray jacket on, and he ran across the street from this side towards them, and then I was going this way. And then as soon as this light turned red, he was like, oh, damn it. And so they stood there the entire time until it went green. I was in my yard, and I waved at them, and that's when they said that the guy ran across the street, and he ran into my yard. And I didn't see anybody, but I had that weird feeling that somebody had followed me into my yard. And so that's why they didn't wave back at me, because they were watching this man go into my yard. So that's the story.
All right, how about Denise? Maybe Denise is in the, oh, there's Denise. Awesome, come on up. If I call your name and you haven't had enough liquid courage yet, just let me know and I'll call the next person, okay?
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. So I have two stories. I'll only share one. I have a scary walker falling out of the rafters of my garage story, and I have a creepy phone off the hook in a empty warehouse story. So I'll, any preference? The walker. Okay, the walker's a good one. The walker's a good one. So my mom, I'm here with my sister. So our mom passed away years ago in late December. So I was probably about, after she passed away, I had to go to her place where she lived and get all of her stuff. So I had it all stored in my garage in all different nooks and crannies. So I was barbecuing one night. It was winter, so I was barbecuing in my garage. We had our barbecue in our garage at the time, and I was standing there barbecuing, and probably about 3 months later, I look up in the rafters of my attic, and I see my mom's walker up there. So I work a lot in the community, so I said to myself out loud, because I talk to myself, I said, oh, I have to remember to donate that walker somewhere. Like, I got to do something with that walker. And I just continued barbecuing, and I never thought of it again. It had been up there for months and months and months. I finished cooking dinner, went into my house. The next morning, I get my son ready to go to school. We're all packed up. He's like maybe 7. We get all packed up. We go into my garage, and I go to open the door, and it's like tunk, 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 hitting something. And I was like, well, what's blocking the door? So I push it open. I shove it open with my son, and my mom's walker is on the ground and blocking the door of the garage for me to get in. And I was thinking, like, my son was right there, and he's like, well, how did that fall? And I said, my car was parked under it. It would have fallen on my car and then smashed onto the ground and broken. It was also winter, so it would have completely broken. So it was very weird. I think my mom placed it down on the ground for me to donate for her. So that was my weird walker story. Okay, the other one, quickly. I volunteer at a big creepy warehouse in the Exchange District every Saturday. I run a furniture bank there for people that are newly housed. And it's an abandoned warehouse. It used to be the Eaton's catalog printing place, and now it's, and then turned into a Nutty Club manufacturing facility. But now it's completely empty. It's just us in the whole building. So I was in there once with my poor son, again, same kid, older now. He's like 15 at this point. And we're in the warehouse, and he hates, it's super haunted, this warehouse. He hates being in that warehouse. So we're in there to help set up chairs or something for an event that we're having. And we're in the first floor. It's 3 stories. This warehouse is completely abandoned, 3 stories. We're in the main floor where the furniture bank is. And I hear like a beep, 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 beep sound, like coming from up on the other floors. No one is ever here. We're the only people in this building. So I said to him, like, do you hear that? And he's like, no, I don't hear anything. Let's just go. And I'm like, no, I hear something. Don't you hear that? And so he's like, no. So then I walk to the stairwell, which is completely creepy. I get to the stairwell and I can hear it coming from upstairs. So I'm like, it's upstairs, let's go see what's going on. So he wants nothing to do with this. So he comes because he's scared to let me go by myself. So we go up the stairs and we get to, there's a second floor that's completely empty, nothing there. Third floor we get up to, I call it, it's a room that's all painted pink. It used to be like their office facility, and I call it the pink ballroom. So we get into the pink ballroom, and there's a phone completely off the hook in a far corner of the room. But it's a super old phone, and it's like not knocked off by a squirrel or just kind of off kilter. The receiver's completely off the hook, and that's what's beeping. So I said, well, this is it. So I hang it up, and I'm like, okay, good, let's go. So then I pick it up again to hear the dial tone. Like, I don't know why, you just naturally want to hear the dial tone. So I pick it up again to hear the dial tone, and there's no dial tone. And I hit 9, and I'm hitting the hang up, and I'm trying everything, and it's not at all connected. So I don't know why it was beeping, but that's what was beeping. So that's my creepy warehouse story.
How about Cass? Come on up, Cass. Do you want a seat?
I would love a seat. Thank you. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people in
I
here.
know, right? Now you know how
Can you hear me in the back? No response. Tough crowd. Okay,
Feel free to take the microphone off and hold it closer if you need.
I'll just move closer. Okay, I have 2 stories because they happen relatively close. And this is the first time it happened was like the first time that I can recall of this type of situation happening. Okay, so I was actually in Edmonton for both of these occurrences. I was moving out of my apartment, putting my stuff in storage. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm moving by myself because I am a She-Hulk and there's nothing I can't do. So I'm in a kind of sketchy neighborhood. I was living in an apartment building across from a gas station. There was a tent city on the other side. So as I'm bringing out boxes, my situational awareness is like full high, constantly scanning, everything like that. I have this big heavy box in my hands and I'm walking to my car. And as I'm turning my head, I make eye contact with this being. Like, it was standing tall, like 6 feet, dark hair, dark clothes, and the look, it was almost kind of maniacal. Like, it was like the face had no expression, it was just all in the eyes. And even though I was like in the process of turning my head, as we made eye contact for like a split second, it felt like time stopped and like water completely doused my entire body and like my organs, to the point where I was like, once I turned my head and then looked back and like registered that I saw something and went to look back and it wasn't there, I was like, okay, did I actually see something? But like the feeling that was left in my body, it was like, yeah, I absolutely saw something. And I just like stood there for a couple of seconds. And I'm like,
you lost time?
I have no idea. It was just so, like, even right now thinking about it, like I'm getting chills, my heart rate's increasing, and I'm just like, whew. Just like the look, I could never describe how I felt in the look alone, and just like the whole appearance. Like I got like full medieval witch vibes. Like it was I couldn't even confirm if it was like a woman or a man. It was just dark, very weird and dark. And it's like 11 o'clock at night. So that's the first time I ever actually remember seeing anything so vividly. A couple months later, I'm in my new place. I'm standing in my kitchen, and I turn. So how my kitchen was set up is I have an island and then a support beam, because they had just taken out they've like redone the kitchen and whatnot. So there used to be cupboards that blocked it. So I was standing in my kitchen. I have 2 dogs. I hear them like walking around and everything. I turn and I see this dude walking down right on the other side of the island towards my front door, looking at me. And I'm like time also seems to like slow down to like a buzz, and he's just walking. He's like a white dude, kind of like reddish brown hair, just staring at me as he's walking down towards me in my kitchen. And as he passes this beam, he like disappears, and then my dog rounds the corner. And I was like, I almost didn't know what to do with that, because since then I've seen that same guy in like a meditative trance I went into. Oh, like I can't tell you what we talked about. I just know that he was there and we had a conversation. But since then, like randomly things keep popping up, like seeing elbows walking by like door frames, which sounds crazy, but now I live in that house again.
Your dogs didn't react? Like your dogs didn't?
No. Yeah, no, like my dog just like walked around the corner and we were like making eye contact, and I was like but I'm also like very close with my dog, so like I don't even know where to go with that. It's like I still can't put into words the feels.
You probably trust your judgment, and from mom's school, then
Yeah.
that guy must be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to say anything else without sounding like absolutely nuts, but but yeah, those are my.
Space, remember?
That's totally fair. Yeah. Well. Yeah. No, I think those are my stories. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
sharing. Thank you. Pretty cool. All right, Amy.
Can't clap. I need to start a table.
We're losing the mic.
It's ghost time. I'll fall off my ass.
No worries.
Oh, I want my beer again.
How are we doing? Hello. It's ghost time.
It's ghost time.
Yeah, and I'm a hello, ladies, and I'm a Halloween baby.
Oh,
Yay!
And my girlfriend's dang close to that too, so we're Scorpios. But so, anyways, I used to live here in the city. I don't anymore, but I still love coming to the city. So here's the thing. So down in the Wolesley area.
yes.
And so I had this buddy of mine, Pat, and I'd heard that his house had been haunted and whatnot, and I'd heard stories. So he was a musician, and so he'd have his drum kit upstairs in his room, and he had a dog, and so I'd heard that the drum kit somehow would mysteriously roll down the stairs, and so then another time he had a bunch of friends over, and you enter someone's home and you just randomly take your shoes off, you just throw them, right? And so they're all scattered, and so they've been either upstairs or downstairs, and the shoes somehow on their own were paired.
Oh.
So that was kind of odd. But for myself, here's my story, because I'd only heard these stories from other people that were there. So I'm like, well, all right, that's interesting. So, and I'm not a skeptic or anything like that. So I'm at his place, and he had a dog named Dixie, and he had piranhas. And I'm like, well, all right, that's cool. I walked with him to his place. We used to hang out, and a bunch of us did in the Wolesley area. And I was in my early adulthood. And so, all right, so that being said, so he's like, Amy, I gotta go feed my piranhas and whatever. And he's like, you know about the stories in my house? And I'm like, yeah, Pat, I do. And he's like, well, all right, so I'm gonna go downstairs. He's like, just you hang out with the dog and wait and whatever. And I'm like, well, okay. So he goes downstairs. I hear footsteps upstairs, and him and I are the only ones in his home. And I'm like, well, all right. At first my brain decided to dismiss it like it was nothing. So I thought, well, all right, that's cool. A moment of silence or two goes by, and then I hear the same footsteps and a door slam, and I'm like, oh, well, all right, you're making yourself more noticeable. Like, I know you're here, and so now you're going to know that I'm here. So we're like, well, okay. And I'm like, hey, Pat, how's it going? He's like, yeah, just give me a few more minutes. anything going on? I'm like, no. Meanwhile, the dog hightails it under the couch. And I'm like, oh, well, all right, because they say like certain animals and little kids are very sensitive to that sort of stuff. So I'm like, well, okay, well, all right. My heart's kind of, not quite skipping a beat, but it's getting up there, right? So I'm like, well, son of a biscuit. Okay. So another moment or two of silence goes by. Same thing again. Now I'm like, hey, Pat, because I'm getting a little nervous now. So I'm like, are you coming up soon or what? And he's like, any activity going on? I'm like, yeah, maybe just a little bit. So, and then eventually he came up and then the dog did, it kind of stopped, I guess you could say, and the dog kind of managed to come from underneath the couch and showed itself. Here I am, I'm okay, and we left. So, yeah, that was kind of fun. So then I ended up finding out from him that he had a psychic come by, and sure enough, there is a little bit of history from his home, and there had been it was a woman of sorts, and I don't know, I think he said at some point there may have been an apparition seen. Okay. So, yeah, so there's my story. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Oh boy. Quite some years, I think, until... Well, yeah, but like I said, so I'd heard it from friends about, so I'm like, okay, it's one thing when one person says something, but it's more than when more than one does. Right. And so to me, that kind of went, because a lot of people were like stuck on the same story, and I'm like, well, okay, then it's got to be believable, right? So yeah, that kind of made, again, a firm believer out of me.
And is he still in the house? Did you say?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is he still in the house?
Oh, to this day, I have no idea. We kind of lost contact, so yeah. But this would have been, we'll say 30 years ago or so. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Thanks for sharing this.
Absolutely, you're welcome. Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Next, we have Charisse.
Charisse!
Is Charisse ready?
Charisse is always ready. What's going on with this mic?
There's Charisse. Come on up and join us.
Come on down. We've had Charisse as a guest on our podcast a few years back, so she's got some really creepy, cool stories.
Yeah.
And you just keep coming, so you're obviously a magnet.
I am, yeah. I'm very sensitive to the spirit world, and it's like a beacon, and it's not exactly great sometimes, but it is what it is. I'm trying to think. I have 3 at the top of my head tonight. I can talk about the Casa Loma, or
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I used to live at a building called Casa Loma on Sherbrooke and Portage. And back in the 1920s, there was a big, huge apartment fire. There was about five people who passed away in the fire. And I was fortunate enough to be living in one of the apartments at the top where people couldn't necessarily get out. So they were trapped in there, and they had perished in that fire. And when I lived there, I kind of had an idea that there was a history, but I didn't really think, I guess I was a little naive. I was like, nothing's gonna happen. I'll be fine. And I lived there with my little son, and it really wasn't fine. He would talk to people that weren't there. He would be like, hey, Mom, there's a man in the hall. There's a man in the hall. And there was no one there besides me and him. And then a few times I would catch him talking to someone in his room. He was terrified of his room, but he wouldn't sleep in that room, but he would go in there occasionally and go and play. But sometimes I would catch him talking to someone and no one was there. And I would ask him, like, well, who are you talking to? And then he's like, there's a big tall guy with a big belly, Mom. And then, like, I was like, well, okay. Like, I didn't really think much of it. Like, kids have invisible friends, right? Until I would see shadows walking from room to room. It's a really old, beautiful apartment, and it's just gorgeous in there. And I would see women walking from room to room. I'd see a guy with a big stomach who was, I think he was the lawyer that perished in the fire, because I checked out who all perished. And it was a guy rather tall, and he was a lawyer that died in the top floor that I was in. And it was like things would go missing. There was like, I'd walk into black masses, even the halls going from the laundry room, there was always something in that building. And because it's so old, like, that's not just one incident that people had died in, right? Because it's so old. So I don't have the full story about who all passed in that apartment, obviously, right? That's a huge apartment, like, you never really know. And then she actually looked it up, and she was like, yeah, there's people who went to the hospital and died in the hospital, right? And they lived there, but they just never came back, right?
The one thing about the papers back in those days, very, not scandalous, but it was like, you know, soap opera-ish. They would report on everything.
Yeah.
They would say, Tom Jones died, and they would give the address, and
The
you know, like, it
suites,
just,
everything.
the newspapers back in the day were just something different. So it was really easy when we did the property, because her building was so infamous with the forest fires. Forest fires on the bridge, because of the fire that was so tragic. I think it was because of her building. They also instituted like the 911 system or something, because the city really didn't have that before. But it was easier to trace all the people that died in that building, I think, because of the history of the building. Go ahead.
And so like it's really hard to really fully pinpoint who, you know, like a lot of people went in and out those doors, right? So I lived in 2 apartments in that apartment, and one was on the 2nd floor. I literally walked by a full black, heavy, dark mass. Like, it terrified the shit out of me. I walked right through it, and I was scared because I had to go to my bedroom, and I was like, what do I do, right? Like, so I just like took off running past, like, through the black mass, and I had like cold chill. My whole body was just cold. And that was probably the most terrifying experience I ever had, was the big black mass, besides seeing the people. And then I always had this one dream. I don't know if there was any reality to it, but there was this lady who was trying to get into my room, and she couldn't, for whatever reason. She would just stand at my door, and she would like look at me with a really long white dress. I'm not sure. I know there was a woman that did die there, but I wasn't sure what apartment. But that was really freaky, and I think my kid had the same dream at the same time. Yeah, it was spooky. It was so scary. And then when I went to go get the laundry one time, there was the elevator, it always kept like glitching. Like, I didn't really put much stake into it because it's super old, right? Until one night I was going up to my apartment getting my laundry, and I seen a disembodied arm right by the door. And the door, like, it sounds kind of cliche, but in the horror movies, you know, you see like something creepy and then you're waiting for the door to close. That's exactly what happened.
Oh my God.
And I just seen the one arm. I just seen an arm. I didn't see anything else. And the door was taking its sweet time closing, and I was terrified. And I don't know where it came from, but like no one was there, because I was like, well, what the fuck, right? Right? But no one was there. Like, I even kind of got brave enough to peek out. No one was there. So there was a lot of activity in that place. Things would go missing. You'd feel yourself watched. You'd hear footsteps in your hall. You'd see the shadows. It was really freaky. But that's one story. I have a couple more. I don't know if you guys want to hear it, but
Sure.
I do.
Go for it.
So
Can I ask a question before you keep going?
Sure.
How long have you been experiencing these things, like before the apartment? Like, is this something you experienced as a child too?
My whole life. Yeah, I would see people. I would feel things my whole life.
Have you like worked with anybody to be able to control it?
No. I just kind of like, it's something that's passed down from my mom, like my
Right.
mom's side. So the women in our family, we have premonitions, we're sensitive, we're like beacons.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
never really worked with anyone with it. I just kind of
Okay.
like, it's really exhausting too, right? Like you go to a place
Yeah.
and it's really active, like, and it's so exhausting. So I try and like turn it off, but
Right.
I can't really help if they come.
That's why I was
right?
wondering.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, for sure. And okay, so that's one place. There was this one place I didn't necessarily live in, but it was my friend's, and it was located on Alfred. I don't know the address, but it was Alfred, and from what I hear, there was like really bad history. There was a family murdered there by the stepdad, and it's just really bad. Like it's so bad, and I wasn't the only one that experienced it. But I can only speak on mine. My couple of experiences that I've experienced there was I was laying in my friend's. I was sleeping in her bed, and I turned over, and for whatever reason, she didn't have a door on her bedroom. I don't know why, but I turned over, and I was like half asleep, but I was like more awake than half asleep, and there was this big guy staring at me, standing in the doorway, and he had like his toque that was like sideways, and it was yellow, and he was just this big, huge guy. And he was just staring at me, and he was sitting there like, he was literally like this. He was like this. Freaky, staring right at me. And I was so terrified. I couldn't turn away, but I had to just close my eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm terrified, right? And I didn't wake up my friend, but I seen him one other time in the washroom, and then I was talking to my friend on the phone one time, and I was in her room, everyone was downstairs. She had her bedroom next to her brother's, and I was just yapping on the phone, and I heard a few bangs on the wall from her brother's room, and then I just thought it was just her older brother being a dick. But it wasn't. Like, I was like, what the fuck? And it was really loud. It kept getting like bang, bang, bang. And I opened up the door. I was ready to like yell at him and tell him to stop being a shithead. And he wasn't in there because no one was. So that was freaky. I took off barreling down the stairs. Freaked out. And then there was constant balls being thrown down the stairs by a little girl that no one could see, but they could sense. They knew that she lived there and she was one of the victims, but she'd throw balls down the stairs, and not one person would go in the basement either. Not one. And we're not fully sure about the other history or any other history besides the murders, but we're probably not going to hear about murders either.
Quite frankly.
Right? Yeah. Like that was freaky enough. And yep. And then I was fortunate enough to move down the street from that house. That was another fun house. I think that whole entire street was just haunted.
Well, it's such an old neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Like Alfred Avenue, like a lot of neighborhoods are
Like
old.
right in the middle is Aberdeen and Alfred. So it's like right smack dab in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And my old house that I lived on, a couple of houses away from that, my brother confirmed that his two friends were actually killed in that house. It was a gang house. And because I was talking to him, I was like, man, like this place freaks me out. And then he's like, oh, okay. Like, and he didn't tell me at first. He was like, oh, okay. Like, well, what's happening? And then I was like, I'd always see guys like walking around the house, like back and forth on the hallway. And the atmosphere just changes. It's like super negative energy, and it's just very thick, and it's just awful. And then one night I was laying in bed with my little guy at the time, and I heard a bang coming from my closet, and no one was in there. Like, it was just me and my little guy home at the time. And then I was kind of like, well, what the hell, right? Because like it was street level. So I went to go look outside, and no one banged on the side of the house.
Right.
Nothing. So it was just, that house was so freaky. And then the downstairs had like, you know how they used to have like old coal shafts or whatever? They would, so that's what it had, right? And of course it was covered in, like it was kind of piled in like with dirt and stuff over the years, but I never got a good feeling from that basement. It was just freaky. So
Very freaky.
yeah, it was, that whole street was just terrible. And the last story I have is I lived on Magnus, North End. That's the thing.
It's all good.
Cheap rent. But it was super, super, super crazy haunted. I don't know if it was even the legit address. You know, back in the day they had different addresses.
Right, they changed them.
Yeah, so I couldn't find anything on that house. So, like, and it wasn't a very old house. It was like a newly built house,
Right.
but it's just the land, right?
Right.
So then I thought, okay, well, what the hell, right? Because I'd hear, again, like, people running up and down my stairs, and there was just me home. And I would hear people call my name, and it was just me home, too.
Yeah.
And then my son, again, he had imaginary friends that he would talk to. And even like other people that would come visit me, they would see these apparitions. Like my boyfriend at the time, he came to come visit, and he looked in the kitchen. Like the way it's set up is like the stairs are like right here, and that's like downstairs is like the front door, and you go up the stairs, and there's my little suite. So the kitchen is right here, and he kind of looked to the right, and he's like, what the fuck is that in your kitchen? Like, he just kind of went into the living room. He's like, what the fuck is that in your kitchen, right? Like, obviously, and he's seeing a guy, right?
Right.
And I'm like, who? What are you talking about? And he's like, there's someone in your fucking kitchen. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I went to go check. There was no one there. And you just seen him. And it was just wild. And then there was a cross. This was my big red flag when I moved in. There was a cross above the stairs. No one could remove it. I don't even know how it was even up there, because it's not like you can put a fucking ladder on stairs. Like, I don't know how that happened, but it was left there. And like, that was my big red flag. I'm like, what's happening here, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know that's been a tradition, you know, to bless your entrances and stuff, right? I get that part, but the fact that it was already there when I moved in,
Right.
and no one has any explanation where it came from, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. But the biggest one, my best friend moved downstairs from me, and she's like, what are you doing upstairs? Like, she texted me, she's like, hey, what are you doing upstairs? She was like frantic. She's like, do you need help? Like, are you okay? I'm like, well, like, I'm fine. What's wrong? What's going on, right? She's like, well, I hear banging up there. Banging? Like, what kind? Like, what are you talking about?
So she can hear it, but you can't hear it.
Yeah. And here's the kicker. I was like, well, what does it sound like? She's like, furniture moving. Like, there's someone banging furniture around. Like, they're moving it around. And I'm like, oh. And she's like, you need help up there? Like, she automatically assumed I was home. And I was like, no, hon, I'm downtown.
That's weird.
Yeah. No one was home. I was downtown. And I'm like, I'm not going to be back till after 8. I'm not home. And she's like, oh my fucking God.
Was she waiting for you outside when you got there?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, she had to take her dog up there to check. Like, she's actually here tonight, and she's like, I could hear her laughing. She had to take her dog up there to recheck, right? Because we thought, oh my God, what the hell, right? Like, at first, your natural thinking is like someone broke in.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But everything was secure. Yeah. So there's a lot of other stories, but that's for another time. But yeah.
No, those are awesome. Those are great stories.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your step? Two. So we've got Paula. 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 Come on up, Paula. Hi.
Hi.
Freak us out.
I'll try.
Okay. I have faith in you.
Thank you. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. I don't necessarily, well, I have some stories in Winnipeg back when I was a young fool. going to cemeteries with friends just to see ghosts at night or something, and seeing the Sturgeon House. But
Going to cemeteries.
I know, I'm like the worst. I know. I'm so sorry. We didn't do anything. We just we're just kind of like hiding around and fooling around, but we didn't do anything. We were respectful of. But anyways, this story is actually just not mine per se, but it was one of the freakiest stories I've heard. This was back when I taught abroad over a decade ago in the Republic of Georgia. This is like between like Armenia, Turkey, and there's Georgia, and then there's like Russia there. So the Republic of Georgia is a really old country. The middle of Georgia is the center of the city. It's called Tbilisi, and us volunteer teachers, we would go and teach in these villages to teach English. One of the towns my friend was in, because we found out we were both from Canada, she was from Toronto, the house that she stayed in was really old, just like the house I stayed in, but nothing really occurred. I really haven't personally encountered lots of things, even though I have tried. But for her, hers was a very interesting story. She would stay in a bedroom. She has her own bed, and she shares it with her host sister and her host brother, who were about 10 years younger. But the room was big. These houses themselves are for multi-family homes, and her bed happened to be against, like the headboard was against a curtain like this, and behind it was double doors that would open up, but the room is not used. It's just used for storage. These houses have many rooms, and when people pass away, or when the family shrinks, a lot of rooms just go on unused. So what happened was one time she explained that she was sleeping, and I don't know, it was just nighttime. It was really quiet in the village. There's not much cars, there's not much noise at all, just crickets and the occasional cow on top of a mountain somewhere. So you don't hear anything. It's absolute silence. So when it's really dark like that, in the middle of the night, she heard something. She couldn't explain what it was. It felt like or sounded like some sort of slow or dull thump. And it started to freak her out a little bit, because the place is so old and it feels like culture shock for all of us that taught abroad there. So what happened was a few minutes after that happened, the light just went on in the corner. It was like a table lamp. And it scared her. Her host sibling and her host brother were still asleep. And she said, "Hey, wake up, wake up." I forgot their names, but they're different in Georgia. And she couldn't wake them up. She started saying, "Wake up, please." And I think her host sister stirred, and she just rolled over. And she was just still lying in bed, not knowing what to do as the room was lit up. And then she started feeling something really strange. She felt fingers on the top of her head right here. No. Mind you, she's lying on her bed. And then she looked up. She didn't do that right away, but she looked up. And she's looking at where the curtain is, where it's parted, where the door between it is slightly open. Nothing was there. But she got up really fast. She jumped into her sister's bed, and she started like sobbing and crying, and her sister was calming her down. She was awake by that time. And she just stayed the night, just like sleeping beside her sister, away from that door. Apparently her sister has explained that this has happened on occasion, once in a while or something, with the last host teacher that would come over there, but usually people don't sleep on that bed. Yeah, and that's the story.
Creepy.
Yeah. It was.
I've had something play with my hair before. It's like, I don't know, it's so nice when it's somebody you know, like, but when there's no one there, it's just like, or just
It's the scalp fingers, you know. It's just like.
And did she ever find out who died in that room?
No, to be honest, she never asked about that after. Yeah, but it's a lots of stories. Yeah. I wish we did, but yeah.
But that's awesome. Well, creepy awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Glenn, do you want to come up and finish off the night?
He wants to put his name on there. Can
No,
you put
no.
his name on? Sure.
You want to just tell me, what's your name? Seth? Seth? Okay, right after Glenn. Yeah.
And don't forget, if you haven't already, put your name in for a ballot for a draw. And after these next two gentlemen, we'll do a draw on class tonight. Hello.
Hey,
Come on down. Welcome back.
there's a lot of tragedy here. If my beer was to be spilt, they all others pale in comparison. So,
And speak into the mic as best you can.
you really don't want to do this, do you?
For what?
The experiment.
Oh, I forgot. Does anybody have a balloon? I forgot. Does anybody have a balloon with them? By chance? Sounds like something from Let's Make a Deal.
So, this involves stuff that's been happening my entire adult life, and it was in 2016. I went to a medium, and the whole session, except this part, is on a digital voice recorder. And she handed the voice recorder back to me and said, well, she didn't want to take responsibility because accidentally erasing it. So she handed it back to me to turn off, and I turned it off, and then she said, oh, by the way, there's been a spirit of a dog come in and out 3 or 4 times. And I said, never had a dog. She said, neighbor, friend? Nope. She paused, let it, sit for a while. And then she said, it's a black and white dog. And I said, well, yeah, my aunt had a Boston Terrier when I was a kid. And so I'll just tell the one incident that happened from 1980s somewhere, where I was in a grocery store, and some little kid, he's probably 2 years old, he's all jumpy and skippy and pointing in my direction and happy, and he's saying something, which I'm not trying to understand 2-year-old language, so I don't know what he said. But his mother is very short with him and grabs him by the arm and yanks him hard. Like if it was today, somebody probably would have said something to her about, hey, you're being a little rough on your kid there. And she says, there's nothing there. So clearly this had happened before with her son. There's a bunch of other stories like that. Then, after she had told me this, I realized it was this Boston Terrier of my aunt's. His name was Jimmy. Maybe he knocked that over. I went home late one night after a little girl in the superstore had seen the dog, and she was saying something. She came running over me, and I don't think she was speaking English necessarily, because her parents weren't speaking English to her, but she went back to her parents, and then she came running over again, pointing to my left, and she said, uppy. So she was trying to say puppy. I went, wow. So I went home about 2 a.m. I hit close on the garage door, and I'm about to exit the walk-in door when I realized the door's reversed, because it sounds different going up than going down. So I look and I go over. Well, what happened? Did something trigger there's 2 safety features on the door. There's resistance, If it encounters too much resistance coming down, it reverses. And then there's the light, right? If the beam is broken,
Right.
it reverses. So I look, well, did a hunk of snow fall off my car and hit the resistance switch? No, I look, there's no reason. So I go back, I hit close again, and this time I watch. And yeah, the door gets down to about this height and reverses. So I think it was the spirit of the dog had enough physicality to either break the light or cause the resistance. Now that dog had a trick it learned late in life, which was bouncing a balloon off its nose in the air. So my theory is it may have enough physicality to be able to bounce the balloon. So that's what I talked about the experiment. If somebody had a balloon, we would try it right now. In this location, with levers involved, but if there's no balloon, we're not going to do it. So, anyway, that's the story.
That's awesome. Thanks,
you
Ben.
so much.
Thank you. Maybe come back next time with the balloon. Come back with the balloon.
No, I want somebody else to bring the balloon, to bring their energy into the...
If I remember.
All right, thank you. Seb.
Hi, Seb.
Hey.
You're our last contestant.
Oh, wow. Fancy
The
stuff.
best for the last?
Perhaps.
All right.
So, I've got a pretty short story. It's not like, but it is pretty dense with stuff. So, my grandparents' home in Wolesley, it was always kind of spooky to me, but only in certain areas. And there's this one area underneath the stairs, because there's like a little hallway that goes underneath the stairs to like a cupboard.
Yep.
And I would always keep a bag of my toy blocks over there. And one night I heard them all fall over. And I always keep it pretty securely there. So I go over there, and I'm picking up all the blocks, and I just felt something. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
what the heck? Like, it feels cold. I looked up, and the window was open. And, I mean, this is like 7-year-old me, so it might not be what I thought it was.
Great.
But I saw one of those classic gray aliens. I'm telling you, this is pretty creepy, pretty weird for me, because like I remember it pretty vividly. Beady black eyes, and like it was a gray alien on the wall, like spider climbing on the wall.
Shit. Oh.
And I ran.
Oh, yeah.
I just ran.
So it got in through the open window.
Well, yeah, and I go to my dad. I'm like, the window's open. There's something up there. There's this alien over there. We don't open that window. Like, we don't ever go to that window. We don't ever go back there. You're the only one that ever goes back there because you have those toy blocks over there. And I'm like, well, go over there, Dad. And the window's open. He didn't see it. Like, it probably ran away if it's real.
Of course.
But that's pretty much the whole story.
Wow. Well, I mean, considering, how old are you now?
24.
And you were 7, and you still remember it that vividly, right?
Well, I only remember the image.
But still.
And I kind of remember through telling the story multiple times what happened around the story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I remember that image of just looking straight at me.
Yeah. Wow.
It's weird.
Wow. That's intense.
But I was a kid, so I don't remember it all.
You know, that's fine. Like, I mean,
And it's not like paranormal ghost stuff, it's alien stuff, but I saw aliens on the...
Yeah, it's all related.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
All right, well, that's all I got.
Okay. That picture is stuck in your brain, in your mind for so long. Like, that to me alone says
Exactly.
there was something to it.
Yeah, it scared me a lot. I'm 7 years old. But here's the thing. I had just recently watched, for the first time, like not recently in the past weeks, but in the past months, had just recently watched movies about things like that.
Yeah.
But then again, like, I don't know what to say about it.
Well, no.
Have you had any experiences since?
I haven't seen them. But, you know, there have been moments where I've been like, yo, is he back? And he wasn't.
You ever do one of those things if you're sitting by a pit fire at night or something and it's dark and you call it from the sky? Have you ever done that? Are you going to try that?
Does that work?
Apparently it does.
Oh, well.
Think it hard enough?
You should
I'm just saying.
sneak over and talk to Aaron.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Aaron does it. Yeah.
Just try to
Yeah.
Listen, hear me.
Bring me a Miller Lite. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know what else to say.
Okay, well, thank you, Seth.
Awesome. Thank
No,
you so
thanks
much.
for sharing. That's great. I mean, we cover everything, like ghosts, aliens,
Cryptids,
Bigfoot,
absolutely.
cryptids, yeah, like everything. So, oh, Seth,
Paranormal.
come back for a sec. Seth, I need your help. I need your help. Since you were the last, I'm going to get you Walker.
I love doing this stuff.
There you go. Make it a good one. Don't grab the one tape to the bottom. Just kidding.
Cass.
Congratulations.
All right. So you can have the prize bag, a T-shirt, or Erin has donated.
Oh, can I pick last?
You want to pick last?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, then we'll get you to pick one.
Want me to read it?
Well, I'll get.
Oh,
She's on the mic.
sorry. Here, I'll let you.
I can't see. I've got my glasses on.
Jason, what's this? Is Bannister?
You probably don't want the crown. Anytime you want. Yeah, totally. You want a gift bag? Okay, here you go. And wait, I just got to say, I also have to mention that there's glassware from Dead Horse Cider in the bag because they are our sponsor for tonight. So, thank you.
Great cider.
Yes, I want those stories. Definitely. Okay.
Wait, you have to draw the
yeah.
lines.
Pull one more. Make it a good one. And last but not least, we have Anita. Anita?
Come on up.
So Anita, we had a last minute prize donation from Erin. You can either have a crown or if you want to pick a t-shirt from the table over there, whatever you want. You want the crown?
Good.
All right.
Everybody wants a crown.
Queen.
All right. So Pat, don't forget you can pick a t-shirt from the table. All right. So we're going to close out tonight, right? I think we're good. So thank you for everybody that came out. This is our third event at the King's Head Pub. A big round of applause to the King's Head. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gail, for a great part of service tonight.
And yeah, so it's been a great night. We're going to be back next month, August 28th. 27th, okay. Keep that in mind. Mark your calendar now. Big thanks to Erin at Anya's Oddities for her booth. Thank you.
Thanks, Erin.
Just a reminder to check out the Winnipeg Paranormal Facebook page because we do have our events listed on there. Tickets
Lots of
available
events
there.
coming up.
Yeah.
So there is still the Seven Oaks House, which Matthew was great enough to talk about tonight.
And thank you to Matthew again for coming
September.
out.
And we will also have the St. James Historical Museum as well coming up in September, and then some amazing locations in October as well. So lots of things coming up. Please, please, please check us out. We'd love to investigate with you guys. And of course, thank you so much, Matthew, for coming out, sharing your stories.
Thanks, Matthew.
And as well, again, I am Jazz with Giving Up the Ghost podcast. So we are downloaded anywhere you find podcasts. Please check it out. If you want to email us your story, please do at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. We try and get an episode out every weekish, depending on how busy I am, because I don't make money at this, so this is like a glorified hobby. In saying that, I have an event coming up. I didn't tell you guys about.
You have an event?
Yes, I have an event coming up at Fort Lorraine, August long weekend. Not this long weekend, but the Labor Day, I guess that would be.
Nice.
Details are yet to come out, but it's a campfire ghost story night on Saturday. So there'll be more
We have to
photos
go
on
to
the
that.
website.
car crashing.
I was gonna invite you guys. I don't have more details, but watch the socials for that. Thank you again from the bottom of our creepy cool hearts for coming out. And remember to live every day like it is your last, but never give up the ghost. Never give up the ghost. Thank you.
Just a reminder too that while we do public events and events like this, we are also available for anybody who's having activity in their home. We are here to help you out. We do client investigations. So if you need help in your home, email us. winnipegparanormal@gmail.com.
And we do have cards on the table as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a